Hello there, world of tankers. I'm Blitz, and welcome to the channel. Hopefully all of you are doing well out there. I'm of course your host, Blitz, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about what is possibly the best heavy tank tier for tier in the game, being the IS-4. This tank pretty much has no downsides going for it. When you look at a vehicle like the IS-7, yes, it has a lot of ups, but it also has a lot of downsides. So for example, the IS-7 has great mobility, going upwards of 50 kilometers per hour. The gun has big alpha at 460 damage, and as well good standard penetration at around 270 with calibrated on. The tank has decent aiming time, again for the size of the gun, and as well the upper plate and the turret armor is very nice. But at the same time, when you look at the downsides of the IS-7, well, it's got really bad acceleration to get up to top speed. The gun isn't necessarily the best on penetration for premium, only sitting at around 300 millimeters. That means that penetrating other tier 10 opponents is nearly impossible when you are aiming at the big German super heavies. And as well, while the upper plate is strong, it can be overmatched by any heat shells, and sometimes you'll even be ammo racked. So, of course, the IS-7 has a lot of ups and as well a lot of downs going for it. But when you look at the IS-4, there's really no downsides. First of all, the tank's quick, it goes 42 kilometers per hour, has good mobility, able to get into position very nicely as well. The penetration on the gun, well, yeah, 374 millimeters of heat pen pretty much means that armor is not an issue at all. The turret armor on this tank is pretty much impervious to any shells, even some of the biggest shots from tier 10 tank destroyers in the game. The upper plate on this tank does a great job of bouncing shells, especially if you are using your 6 degrees of gun depression. The lower plate, while it is quite big, still can be angled very nicely. It's about 220 millimeters base, so yeah, that is the IS-4. Pretty much, I could go on and on and on about all of the good things going for this tank. In fact, the only issues with the IS-4 is that it doesn't have the most DPM, only sitting at around 2,400. But another great thing about this tank is the hit points, sitting at 2,800, which means that even if you're stupid, and you push right out in the open, and you get hit, let's say, by a 183, you still can get hit by him 2 more times effectively before you're taken out of the game. So that's why the IS-4 is just such a solid heavy tank. So I figured, you know what, in today's video I'm going to be playing the tank, seeing how it works out, and we're going to test it for you guys live. So if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to smash that subscribe button down below. But other than that, let's get straight into it. So what does the enemy team have? Well, they got the IS-7, and honestly, that's all I see. I don't really see any other... Well, I guess they got the 57 heavy, but really, that's not, a big heavy lineup. I don't expect them to push to the side, but you'll notice that the tank has good mobility to get into position. Now, we do have that K91 off to the side, and I didn't really care if I got hit there. I'll, of course, trade with him because, yeah, I'm going to hit him harder, and as well, I've got a lot more hit points. So that was a nice little trade there. We got the Progetto off to the back there, and I would love to get some maybe side shots into that Progetto if I can. So let's see if we can do that right now. And fire. That one definitely looks like it connected into the Progetto's butt. So let's keep pushing up here. Maybe we can get some side shots. Yes, there we go. Progetto did get hit by me. I doubt we're going to get any more shots off, but oh, just going a little bit low there on the 62A side armor. I doubt we'll be able to get one more out. Come on, maybe we will. Is he going to back up? Oh, it looks like he's going to back up. Fire. Yes, beautiful shot all the way across the map into the T62A there. Losing my mind, but now we got the K91 right in front of us. And the K91 is, we know, is a tier 9 heavy tank that of course has a pretty deadly clip. Now there's also the T57 heavy right off to the front, which is another super deadly clipper in tier 10, but thankfully I have my E100 buddy right here who is hopefully going to help me out big time. So let's see if we can get a shot into the K91. I'm not sure where the guy is. He's most likely coming around this corner here. Alright, there we go. So there's the K91. Let's get one nice tap into the side of him, plop on our adrenaline. We also got the 183 pulling up to the front, as you can see there. But let's try, and you know what, I'm actually not going to. I'm just going to back up here because I don't want to get hit by the enemy 183. Not necessarily yet. I'm just going to try and side scrape, maybe get a little bit of a side shot. There we go. Actually, the 183 just fired, which means I can get one little tap right into him. There you go. Nice little roll for 475, and you can start to see why this tank is so strong. We're almost at 3,000 damage already. Bouncing shots left, right, and centered from this K91. There's one more nice tap. Of course, we're going to be able to out-reload that. So now all we have is the 183 off to the side over here, who, he'll take off my hit points, but it's not the end of the planet. I'm just going to tap him. Again, as I said, I have so many hit points on this vehicle, even a shell from a 183 isn't even the end of the planet. So now all we have left is the T57 Heavy, who we're going to snap a shell right up the butt of. and all that's left is the IS-7 across the map. So I'm just going to go make my way to the IS-7 here. Hopefully the 62 doesn't block me too much, but here we go, making my way to the IS-7, and this is going to be pretty much a straight out victory, and that's what the IS-4 is great at doing. It's just literally winning games by the amount of armor, the amount of hit points, and just the gun on the tank as well. Sorry, losing my voice there, but very early in the morning, and I need to have a cup of water. But yeah, let's just make our way straight to this IS-7, pretty much ruin his day when we start tapping heat shells right into the side of his tank. Gotta love a new max roll as well, but as you can see, heat pretty much makes armor irrelevant. Like, if I load heat on this IS-7, his armor no longer becomes armor. Now, of course, I don't need heat to penetrate him through the front track wheel, but there we go. That was the first game played out with the IS-4. Not really a super exciting game for the tank, but that's how the IS-4 works. You just drive, and you get 4,000 damage out, easy as that. So let's of course get into one more game here. So the reason I wanted to make a video on this tank is because I wanted to say how solid of a tier 10 heavy this is. And one of the biggest issues I have with this line is I always want to say that this is currently the best tier 10 tank to go for a beginner because it's got everything going for it. But at the same time, the issue with the IS-4 line is that the tier 9 sucks. If you go for what's the tier 8? It is the KV-4. Well, the KV-4 doesn't carry any of the guns that the ST-1 has, which means when you first get the ST-1, you're running it completely stock. Now, running a tier 9 with 175 pen with a turret that's about the same thickness as a tier 5 heavy tank is not going to work too well in tier 10. So, grinding the ST-1 stock is possibly the worst grind you will ever go for in World of Tanks Blitz. And that is honestly why I stopped saying go for the IS-4, because if you haven't gone for any other tank line, it's going to be the worst thing you've ever ground in your life, because the ST-1 is going to stop you dead in your tracks for probably about 200 games until you get the top gun. But as I said, the IS-4 is such a solid tank. It's always baffling that the ST-1 is just such a bad tier, a bad equivalent. Now, we did get shot in the side there, actually by the IS-4. Very surprised that guy was actually able to make it there that quickly, but, it's not the end of the planet. As we know, I've got so many hit points sitting on the tank as it is, so we've got the ST-1, who's most likely going to be trying to cross here. I'm not 100% sure if there's anybody that's going to try and cross, but I need to kind of wedge my tank out to get it into a gun depression position, so let's try and do that. We've also got my IS-8 pushing off to the side here, so here we go. We got the 183, and nice little tap right into him. Now we can back up into cover, so that was a nice little tap there. You can see that the gun is actually also very accurate on the IS-4, something you wouldn't expect, but it is pretty dang accurate. Another nice tap into you. As I said, this turret is able to shrug off even some of the biggest caliber shots in the game. Just pretty much that 183 didn't stand a singular chance against the IS-4's armor. Now we got the ST-1. Again, this is where the tank is just ridiculously strong, just able to shoot shell after shell into the enemies, not really worry about the weak armor on this, the front plate. And let's see if maybe a tank like the issue right now is that IS-4 and the FE2 and 5B right now are just kind of ripping apart my teammates. But we've got the 183 right out to the side. Once again, max roll into the side there. So nice little tap for you. We've got the VK90 in a little bit of a predicament, of course. I don't really want that to happen to my teammate, but there's not much else I can do right now to save him. So let's see what's going to go on here. We've got the FE2 and 5B. It looks like they're getting quite aggressive over here. I have a feeling. There we go. Yeah, I was like, where is that object 140? So there we go. Nice little tap into the 140. We also have the 140 now pushing on my VK90. So let's plop on adrenaline here. Let's get one more shell right into the side. Ah, no, that did not connect. Okay, so we'll take out the ST-1 over here. I didn't really want to shoot at this ST-1, but I guess I'm going to have to because the IS-4 just finished off my teammate there, and I don't want to be the last one dealing with all these vehicles over here. So now we got the T92E1 right here, and I'm going to make sure that this guy does not get away from us. So let's get a little HE right up the butt, a little bit of a low roll, but again, you can start to see why this tank is so solid. I've literally just been driving, just doing my job here, and the enemy team can't deal with it. That is what makes this tank so strong as its job. So now we've got the FE2 and 5B right over here, and we're all just going to push on him. I'm not really super worried about the 2 and 5B right now. So let's just see if we can finish him off, because that's all that's left. So yeah, that is the IS-4 in a nutshell. Just two very simple games I pulled out in the tank, and it was able to do about 4,000. If we get one more shot out, we're going to do 4,000 on both of the games we do play, which, as you can see, 4,000 damage. So 2 battles pulled out, 4,000 damage for both, still 1,200 hit points left after being hit countless times by vehicles, ignoring tanks to the side of me. That is the IS-4. It is honestly an overpowered tier 10 currently, just because you can see how much it has going for it. Again, it's broken just just because it literally, well, not broken, but it's definitely leaning to the overpowered side. And the reason for that being is because it has literally everything going for it. It has the armor, has the mobility, has the penetration, has the gun, literally has everything. And as you can see, when you have everything, well, it works quite well. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Now, as I've said a lot of times, I honestly think that the IS-7 is a better tank to grind for. I think the Alpha makes it a little bit easier to play. Not only does the Alpha make it a little bit easier, but grinding the IS-7 line, oh, it is way easier than grinding for the IS-4. Once you grind the IS-7, the gun you get on your IS-8 goes right to the IS-4. I mean, not the IS-4, the ST-1. Then with that ST-1, then you can make your way to the IS-4. But I definitely would not suggest to grind the IS-4 just because grinding, as I said, a stock ST-1 is possibly the worst thing you can ever do. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to smash that subscribe button down below. But other than that, I hope you're all doing well out there. Stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.